Hey everybody, Coach Stacy Lynn here with... Have you ever seen one of these? Oh, there I am inside. This is an anxiety book case. Yeah, it is. It's really cool. It's actually all the rage. I don't know if you know that, but it is. And those of you in the booktube world, you may or may not know about these little mini anxiety bookshelves, but now you do. You can get yours at Amazon or wherever fine bookshelves like this are sold, which I don't know where else they are sold. But anyway, I love this thing. I gotta tell you, when you open it up, these are legit titles of real books, which I can't read right now because I don't have my glasses on, but they are so fun. And when I found out about this, I had to get it. You know why? Because I am a bibliophile. You know what that means? It means I'm a book lover. Yeah. And so I wanted to let you know that one of the things I am doing here on my coaching channel, and I'm going to be doing a lot in 2026, is talking about the books that I'm reading and that I love. Because here's the thing. Readers are leaders. That's one thing. But the other thing I know is that reading is a way that people can heal who have gone through a lot of trauma and abuse. And so I wanted to share with you kind of a sneak preview right now of some of the books that I'm currently reading. And I picked up 9 new books that I'm going to be reading in 2026, and I'm going to be talking about those as we go along. But right now I wanted to thank you for coming in here. If you're brand new, please hit subscribe, become a subscriber, and share out the channel if you don't mind. My number one book is the Bible. I own probably about 70 copies of the Bible, and they're all different copies. Actually, if you go over there, see that corner bookshelf there, those are all Bibles. I have some upstairs. Why is that? I'll tell you why. It's not because I went out and bought them all. I spent 20 years working with Christian publishers, and they sent me a lot of Bibles to review and things like that. So I got a lot, but it wasn't until about a year ago or two, no, a little over a year ago, that I really started to understand the different versions and different things like that. So I may actually talk about that in a future video, but you can always know the Bible is my number one book. I read and I memorize the New American Standard 1995 edition, and it's my favorite version. Although I have really grown partial to the NLT, and I also like the Christian Standard Bible as well. And of course, the King James Version is something I'm very familiar with as well. So what am I reading now, people? You want to know? I'm going to tell you. All right, so this book right here, The Backyard Bird Chronicles by Amy Tan, is one of my prized possessions, people. To know Stacy Lynn Harp, the coach, and the person, is to know that I love birds. I am a birder. I love birds with all of my heart. Birds and bird watching literally is something I do every single day. Every morning when I get up, one of the very first things I do is I go outside and I feed my birds. I fill up the feeders, I throw food on the ground, and I have squirrels that come every day. And over the last 8 or 9 years, I have developed this whole ecosystem of birds and squirrels. In fact, my Bird Buddy app told me, I don't know, probably don't have my phone right next to me, do I? Of course not. And I'm not going to go get it. But my Bird Buddy app told me that I literally had over 3,000 visits to my bird feeder. Over half of those were finches, and I had 30 different species show up at my bird feeder. So my friend Carolyn, who I've literally known since I was in high school, she was the very first person to disciple me, actually, in the Lord. Her and I text a lot, And she knew that I was into birds because I actually kept sending her pictures of all my birds. And she bought me this book as a gift for my birthday last year. This is one of the coolest books. And Amy Tan, if you don't know who she is, trying to remember what famous movie she was part of. I think it was the Joy Luck Club or something like that. I don't remember. But this is actually an autographed copy. Here, I'll show you. Is that cool or what? And not only was that autographed, but also this is autographed. And inside I got this postcard of a hummingbird, and I'm not sure what kind this one is. This is a this is the Anna's hummingbird. There's ruby-throated hummingbirds, which are also very popular in Tennessee. This one's an Anna hummingbird, which is another name of a hummingbird. And I learned this on my Bird Buddy. I'll tell you why. What's really interesting about the Anna's hummingbird is I actually thought it was somebody's named Anna that was her hummingbird, but it's actually the name of the bird. Beautiful birds. And my friends, this is an absolutely gorgeous book. And right here you have a grackle over here on this side, and that looks like a bluebird. That's actually a scrub jay. Oh, actually that's a crow. Anyway, this book is great. I love it. It has tons of pictures. Amy Tan draws. She tells stories. If you're a bird lover, you will love this book. I just want to encourage you, get yourself a copy. There's actually also a journal, which I haven't gotten yet, but I may at some point. The Backyard Bird Chronicles. And here's something interesting I will tell you as somebody who reads books and loves birds. Almost every single person that I've met or I've talked to who has been into bird watching has had to deal with some type of significant loss. Including me. I started really getting heavily into bird watching when my dad was ill and right before he died. So, one of my favorite all-time books of all time. And it was a gift. So, I love that even more because of it. All right, another favorite book that I have read in this past year, It's Not You by Dr. Ramani Durvasula. I'm sure I said her last name wrong because she never says it. But Dr. Ramani was recommended to me by my old therapist friend, and she is today, in my mind, she is the #1 expert on narcissism in the world. And I was just wondering if my husband was going to come down again and interrupt me. He didn't. Okay. Anyway, this book I actually did a couple of book clubs on with probably 30 or 40 different women at one point. And this is a really good primer to the issue of narcissistic people and abuse. And the reason I really like this book, aside from the fact that I love Dr. Ramani because she's very real, is that this is written really for a lay person. I have a number of clinical books that I've read on narcissistic abuse, but this book is really good for a lay person. So if you struggle with an issue that you think has to do with this issue, then I would recommend this book. It's actually a very good book. And actually, I have an autographed copy of this one too. I don't know if this is it or my other one is, because I own 2 of these copies. Yeah, so it's not this one. It's the other one on my shelf up here. So, not that autographed copies mean anything, but it's kind of fun. All right. My last book I want to share with you, before I share with you my book, is called The Genesis Record. Now, you might be wondering, what is Coach Stacy Lynn reading about concerning Genesis? Well, first of all, it's written by Henry Morris, who was a scientist. And there are a lot of people who don't think Christianity and science go together. And those people are very ignorant because they do. They just do. And Henry Morris is a leader in this issue. So he wrote this devotional on the book of Genesis called the Genesis Record. This was actually written in 1970. I'm trying to remember what year it was. 1976. 1976. I wasn't even 10 years old when this book was written. That's how old this book is. But you can pick up a copy of this book and you can begin to read it and really look at what this scientist Christian wrote about the book of Genesis. And this is actually a scientific and devotional commentary on the book of Genesis. You can see it, it's pretty thick. It actually has, let's see here, how many pages does it have? It has a really big index. Let's see. Well, the index starts at page 692. So it's got quite a few hundred pages in this thing. And you know what my goal is? To read it, the whole thing. You know why? Because I am very fascinated by my faith. But not only by my faith, but I'm fascinated by the fact that God made our faith scientifically provable. So a lot of folks will say, well, you know, you just have blind faith. And I'm like, no, I don't. Do you know how many books on apologetics I've read personally, like over the years? Tons. I mean, I can defend the resurrection of Christ. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff I could get into. And all of that has to do with reading, which I don't ever really share a lot of that. I actually just bought 8 new books, and I'm going to be talking about those books with you. All right. I would be remiss if on this new BookTube part of my channel, I don't mention my own book, Pickleball Faith, Inspiration on and Off the Court, people. This book has sold consistently on Amazon for over 3 years in a row every single month. So what I'm saying is for over 36 months in a row, I have sold at least 1 copy of this book on Amazon. Now you might think, wow, that's such a big number. Actually, it is. It's a big deal. I'm a no-name author. And I will tell you that I am so proud of this book. Not only is it not that thick, I read this in 2 hours. You can get it on Audible, you can get it on Kindle, and you can also get it in paperback. What is really important about my book, besides the facts that I wrote it, is that this is like reading my journal. If you really want to get to know me a little bit better before you hire me, I will tell you that if you read this book, you'll actually get to know me quite well. Because in this book, I share with you what I think about other people, where God corrected me in my assumptions about people, and some of the blessings and struggles that I went through when I was learning, about certain things in the pickleball world. Pickleball actually changed my life in a very positive way. And I start my book out by talking about how I've always felt very lonely. And that's true. And the pickleball community became a place for me to go where, everybody knew my name. But what's really interesting about it is that God used the pickleball community to teach me not only about Him, but about me and about other people. So it's really a relationship book. The theme in my book is that the relationship is the cure. And here's the interesting thing, I just have to say, that really surprised me about my book. I actually was talking to my old therapist before I published it. She asked me how come I hadn't published it. And I told her, I said, well, because I don't want people I'm afraid of what people are going to think about me. And for me to say that in therapy or, just in a conversation with a therapist is like a big deal, because what I can tell you is that I don't usually care what people think about me. But this is so personal that, I'm afraid of what people are going to think about me. And she challenged me. She's like, all right, I want you to give me a date when you're going to have this done. I'm like, well, okay, because you're a good friend of mine. I'm going to tell you. And anyway, long story short, I published it. And you know what I discovered? And if you're an author, you probably have discovered this too. Nobody cared about me in that book. Not one person. I didn't get one critical letter sent to me about my book. In fact, friends of mine who aren't Christians read this book, and they came to me, many of them at pickleball, and they said, "You know what? I didn't know that you thought that way. I do too. I do that. I think that way all the time." And I'm like, pretty interesting, isn't it? So this is a relationship book. Since pickleball is like super popular now, I would highly encourage you to get it. I will tell you that there are 2 authors who stole my title. There's another book written it's called Pickleball Parables, and they stole my subtitle, Inspiration on and Off the Court. That is not my book, but they stole my subtitle. Just so you know, you cannot copyright a title, so at least they didn't steal the faith part. So there's that book. And then there's another book that they called it, what was it that they called it? I'm trying to remember. It wasn't Pickleball Faith. Oh, it was called Faith in Pickleball. So original that guy decided to flip my title. So I will tell you that this has been so influential. I was interviewed by Sports Spectrum magazine, which is a Christian magazine. I was the very first Christian pickleball player they ever interviewed because of my book. Okay, this is a cutting ground book, and I highly recommend it because I wrote it, but because also I know it will change people's lives if they read it, and it's a quick read. So I'm going to link all of these books in the description with my affiliate link if you want. And if you want to go get them, go for it. If not, that's cool too. But I want to share with you, there are a lot of things that I read, and in the coming months, you're going to learn more about what I'm going to read. And I hope that this part of who I am blesses you. And I want to know if you're a reader. So let me know in the comments if you're a reader. What are some of your favorite books? What are some of the things that you read? I will tell you the only thing I don't read and I won't read. Well, actually, there's 3 things I won't read. Romance, can't stand it. I have no desire to read romance books. I don't care. I know lots of people do. Romance is out. I will never read a romance book ever. Fantasy, nope. Will not read fantasy either. And horror books, nope. I won't read any of that garbage because those things are not comforting to my spirit, and I need to read books that are uplifting or educational, but they can be fun. And so over the next couple of months or year or whatever, you will learn what those are, and hopefully you'll give me some good suggestions that I can read. Now, here's the thing I will tell you though. I don't read just Christian books. In fact, most of the books I read are not Christian books. And I will tell you why. Because for 20 years, I promoted Christian books, and most Christian books aren't that good. At least they weren't 20 years ago. They might be better now. So if you've happened to read a Christian book now, let me know, and maybe I will check it out. Otherwise, you're going to have to convince me to read them. Because I think the most, quote, Christian book is the Bible. And most Christian books aren't really Christian, if you look at the content. So that's my unbiased opinion, or direct opinion. And again, Pickleball Faith, Inspiration on and Off the Court, The Genesis Record by Henry Morris, Dr. Romney's book, It's Not You, and The Backyard Bird Chronicles by Amy Tan. It's probably my favorite one out of all the books. So I hope you enjoyed this, people, and I hope you have a better day. Go read a book, people.